welcome back to another episode of NFT Artist Spotlight, hosted by AstroZero. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.
Today on AstroZero Twitter Spaces, we have a Polygoonz NFT project that's a large collection of Polygoonz. They'll be accompanied with their own cryptocurrency, the Goonz token, and have a game come out along with it. Minting starts on the 22nd of February at 4 p.m. UTC. Not really sure what UTC stands for or what time zone that is. You'll have to explain that to us. But it's the Polygoonz. So welcome, guys. How you doing?
Thanks very much, Elon. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I saw somebody using UTC, which is Universal Central Time, and I don't know why they switched the T and the C in the acronym, but that's what it stands for. And it seemed like some people were using that as sort of a standard metaverse time.
Well, I know that's the standard time on Etherscan. It always falls onto whatever the time is in the UK. So I guess it kind of does make sense, right? Right, Dave? 4 p.m. Right now it would be midnight your time, right, Dave?
Hell yeah, midnight it is.
Yeah, UTC 0 or whatever is plus GMT plus 0, however it works. Yeah.
Yes, UTC doesn't change. GMT does the whole daylight saving, so that's the difference.
Right.
All right, so we got our little science lesson here for today. That
was we picked that time because our dev is in Vietnam, and so he's exactly 12 hours ahead of me, which sort of keeps things simple, really. But yeah, it just means that if we want to get work done, or if we want to have an event of any kind, we got to pick a time that sort of works for both of us.
Yeah. Like, I'm on the east coast of the U.S., and when I do AMAs with people in Australia, they're like generally 12 to 14 hours difference for me, and it works. So, yeah. Opposing. All
right. Aiden, your mic is hot there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, dude. Mute your mic if you're going to do dabs, please. So, is this your
radio?
Is this your first NFT project that you guys have worked on, or have you done other projects in the past?
Yeah, so I'll sort of tell you a bit about my own background. My name is Zach Kenny. I've got my personal Twitter account. It's just ZACKENNY. And so I came into the NFT space in April, May 2021. My artwork is actually abstract painting. That's like what I sort of exhibit. And I'm in the studio, I'm painting. And when I came into the NFT space, I really wanted to do, something kind of unique and different, even just for myself, just to keep it interesting. And so I started doing these like abstract animated paintings, and I can pin one of these up here actually, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so they were it was a really it was a cool way for me to come into the space and just like sort of stretch myself creatively. I had a couple exhibitions of my abstract work in the couple of years prior to the pandemic, but I wasn't really painting all that much. And then so when I was learning about NFTs, I was just like, oh, this is really, really cool. I'm a huge collector. I love I collect all of the things, Star Wars action figures, stamps, coins, like hockey cards, what have you. And so when like digital collectibles came along, I was right on board with with Star Wars Card Trader, the app. I got super into that. I loved it. Magic the Gathering Online, Hearthstone, like collectible gaming. It was just totally into that. And digital digitally collectible games I just was, yes, really into. And so, while it was super fun and really cool for me to make this artwork with my paintings, and I still do, like, I'm working on my Known Origin Genesis series now, actually, collaborating with a musician in New York for that. But I really wanted to do, like, an NFT gaming project. And I got involved with Bruce the Goose, as many of you know of. He's NFT OG in the space. I actually got involved with Bruce through Nifty Pride, and yeah, so we worked together on Nifty Pride. I worked with Dearest Haley, who's loosely involved with the Polygoonz as well. And yeah, so after Nifty Pride, we were just like, hey, what should we do? And so Bruce is like just a pretty wild, crazy idea, man. And he was like, okay, I have an idea. And he laid it out, and this is in like June, July. And at the time, like, what he was saying was just like, oh my gosh, like, NFT staking, like, that's going to be crazy. Like, you can stake the NFTs and earn this token that we're going to do. And like, oh, that's, we've never seen that before. And of course now, fast forward, 6 months, every other project has some kind of element like that. And so, it's been an adventure, and a lot of that has just been really pushing ourselves creatively, and really wanting to come up with something, unique and special in the space. So yeah, how the current iteration of Polygoonz, with all of its planned phases and everything, I think is a pretty cool and pretty special thing that we're bringing to the space.
Now, I know you're going to have a Goons token incorporated with it. What made you decide to mint the Polygoonz on Polygon, yet launch the coin as an ERC20 and not make it available through something like QuickSwap?
Well, yeah. So the token itself is really just meant to complement the Polygoonz ecosystem, and so its primary purpose is to be like an in-game token, which we could have done off chain, fairly easily, but like, it's an NFT project, right? So it's like, okay, like, let's actually just make it a token. And so, yeah, so there's like, I'm actually not too sure about your question of it being an ERC20 and not available on like QuickSwap. I think what you're referring to is just the fact that it doesn't have any assigned value or anything at the moment, right? There's no liquidity or anything behind it, so you can't swap it for anything else at the moment. Is that what you're?
No, I was just, you're going to have the coin is going to be an ERC20, so it's going to be on the Ethereum mainnet, right? So you're going to be doing buys and sells on Uniswap as opposed to QuickSwap if it was on the Polygon mainnet. Is that how you're going to be?
Oh, no. The tokens deployed on Polygon as well.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I was reading on the website that it was going to be an ERC20 token. I must have misread something. So my mistake. I was thinking that you were going to have the coin launching on a separate chain and like a separate mainnet than you were with the actual NFTs. So I was just maybe a brain fart when I was reading through things.
No, I think you are reading it correctly. Maybe I'm actually misunderstanding the token type that it is. I know that it's on Matic because I connect to Matic, and that's how I do the airdrops and everything like that. So I know it's deployed on Polygon. Maybe it's not an ERC20. I'll have to ask my dev about that. I did. He should be joining us at some point. So I will keep an eye out for him and bring him up if he joins.
That's fine. It was just something that I have like terrible reading comprehension, so it could have just been myself reading it a little bit backwards. But
No worries.
let's push forward. So, what inspired the Polygoonz, and who's the primary story writer behind it?
Yeah, so as I said, Bruce the Goose really sort of, birthed this brainchild of the Polygoonz. And then we all kind of just jumped on board because Bruce's ideas are wild and crazy, and he needs people to make them into a reality and carry them forth into the world. So the idea behind the Polygoonz being from this distant planet, them being these farmers that were going to come to Earth. They escaped their home planet because there was an attack from an interplanetary scourge called the Fang, and so they had to flee their planet. And Earth was the closest inhabitable planet, so they decided to set their course for Earth and come here. And yeah, and then so they like to farm. That's their sort of preferred lifestyle and preferred activity, is just to be on the land and take care of the land and farm and provide for each other. And all of that was really Bruce's idea. So we've just sort of carried that through all the various iterations of the project, and that's like sort of held the whole theme together, is that they're coming to farm. There's some additional sort of lore stuff which I've hinted at here and there, and I'm happy to get a bit more into here because this is a dedicated space for the Polygoonz, and I love it. Usually I've got, we all have the 2 to 3 minute type thing. So I'm, excited to get into more depth here.
So you have a kind of unique total number of mints that you're doing, 8,883. What made you decide this number?
Yeah. So again, this was kind of a lore based number. It's quote unquote a 10K project, which I tell people because people know what that means. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's 8,883. And the breakdown of that is actually on February 22nd, next week, 8,000 Polygoonz will be available to mint. And so out of the initial offering is 8,000 of the Polygoonz NFTs. Now, what happens with the Polygoonz is these Polygoonz are the ones who fled the planet, and they are the sort of the first wave of Polygoonz from that planet to arrive, and how we're thinking about it, and sort of how we're setting stuff up to work, is the farm is going to have a limited supply of the Goonz tokens. It's going to have 100,000 Goonz tokens in it for people to be able to farm and earn freely by staking their Polygoonz, and other items and boosts and stuff like that as well, which I'll get into. But eventually the farm will run dry, and the sort of the lore kind of parallel of that is like the land that they landed on is kind of used up, and not really very fertile or good for farming, and so they need to expand. And then we're getting into phase 2 of the Polygoonz project, where the Polygoonz themselves are broadening their territories, and how that is going to actually pan out in terms of the game is going to be through some territory control elements. So think about like Risk, like the classic Risk board game, mixed with NFT staking and placing units and that kind of thing, and that's basically what we're building out. But it's going to be a bit more interactive than all that as well, because the Polygoonz are actually walking around in the space, and there's going to be other little like, quests and stuff and loot and all that kind of stuff as well. So it'll be kind of like a real mix between an RPG and like a real-time strategy type thing. But yeah, it'll be really cool. So what happens then is the Polygoons start, warring over these expanding territories, and they'll expand gradually. So, the first week or month might just be the first territory that opens up, and then everybody is sort of battling for that new territory. But as it goes on, there will be more options and more territories that are opening up that you'll be able to kind of strategically stake your Polygoons to try and lay claim to. And when that all happens, the Polygoons are actually going to radio back to their home planet, and they're going to see if the Ultragoons are ready to come to Earth. And the Ultragoons are a class of warrior Polygoons, which stayed behind on their home planet to try and fight off this invasion. And there is 880 of the Ultragoons. So I'm getting back to your question about the numbers. There's 880 Ultragoons. So these are like super rare Polygoons. And the only way that you acquire an Ultragoon is by using the Goons token that you're earning through the farm. So kind of just building that kind of gamified NFT collecting dynamic a bit deeper into the ecosystem. And then what will happen is that those Ultragoons are like ultra powered, right? So the Polygoons all have their own power levels that's based on their rarities and that kind of stuff. And the Ultragoons are just going to be like these big mega power units, basically. So when you recruit an Ultragoons and you stake an Ultragoons to your territory, that's going to give you a pretty significant boost. And then if the other factions that are laying claim to that territory aren't equipped with an Ultragoon, then it's going to shift the scales of that contest pretty quickly.
So we're still missing 3 goons. We're the last.
We are. Then there's only whispers as to who those last 3 might be. I think, I don't know if there's any public information about them. In the Discord, we talked about them briefly a couple weeks ago, but we really don't know much about them. They're some say that they are a legendary race of Polygoons. Some say that they have been around since the beginning of time. Some say that they've just been sort of reborn as these prophets of the Polygoonz universe. There's a sort of a general belief amongst the Polygoons that those remaining last 3 might be the key to resolving conflict in the Polygoonz lands.
That's a lot of stuff to remember, man. I'm very impressed. So, when you open up minting, what's the cost of the Polygoons going to be, and what do you get?
Yeah, so the Polygoons are going to be minting for 30 Matic, and I'm just going to repin this main tweet here because I've still got my painting up there. But this is a little animation sort of showing what you get. So when you mint a Polygoons for 30 Matic, you are actually receiving 11 different NFTs into your wallet. So there's the base Polygoonz NFT, which is the body. The body NFT, the base NFT, has 6 different traits of its own. So it's got a mouth, eyes, a body type, a tattoo, and 2 other hidden traits, which will be revealed at some point. And then the 10 other traits that you get, those are all ERC 1155s, and those are all the accessories, all the bits of clothing and costumes and items and stuff for your Polygoonz. And so when you mint one, all of this stuff just gets dropped into your wallet. And then what we will have on our website is an interface where you can actually stake the items to the Polygoonz. And so it's you're actually like, yeah, it's a legitimate like staking contract for the Polygoonz, where you're actually sending the ownership of the accessory NFT to your Polygoonz NFT. So it's your accessory NFTs, after you dress up your Polygoonz, leave your wallet. They actually live with the Polygoonz base NFT at that point. But you can always unstake it, and you can always swap them out with other items and accessories that you maybe have from another mint, or maybe you bought separately from the secondary market, and maybe you bought some other items from like an expansion or an edition or something like that, a special drop, and those special drops will all be available using the Goonz tokens as well. So like the minting is happening with Matic, and then once that's done, like everything else is happening with the Goonz tokens, except, if you're buying and selling on secondary, of course, then you're probably interfacing with OpenSea.
So if somebody sells on the secondary market, as it says here, you're basically getting I think it's 11 pieces total, right? When you
That's right. Yeah.
Now, if they decide that they want to sell the base NFT, do all of the accessories go along with it, or accessories separate? And also, if you own two separate base NFTs, can you trade the accessories between the two if all of them are in the same wallet?
Yeah, exactly. So yes, if everything's in the same wallet, then you can totally trade them between your base Polygoonz NFTs. And that's what I have sort of illustrated in that little animation, right? Is like, yeah, if you own two, you can mix it up and customize your Polygoonz. And you can go on OpenSea and you can say like, okay, well, I've got all these, like, I've got the blue shirt and the blue pants. I want a blue pair of shoes. I'm gonna, buy the blue shoes, and then attach that to my Polygoonz to make like a true blue Polygoonz. What happens then is when you actually are dressing up your Polygoonz, like I said, you're actually staking the accessory NFTs to the base NFT. So what that will do also is update the metadata for the base NFT. So, and it'll pull the refreshed image. We're in the process of just testing this to make sure it's all working. But the idea is that it's actually pulling the refreshed image. So even on OpenSea, you'll be able to see if the base Polygoonz NFT that you're looking to buy actually has any traits staked to it, because you'll see them right in the NFT. And so, yeah, if you're selling a Polygoonz base NFT with items staked to it, then you're selling it all at once. And all of that information will be visible and available to sellers and potential buyers as well. If you didn't want to sell a certain item, or if you wanted to sell an item separately, then you would just unstake it, and then you could sell the item separately. Or yeah, if you want, like if you have this legendary axe and you are okay with selling everything else, but you really want to keep that axe, then you could just unstake your axe and then sell your Polygoonz without the item. And it would transfer the Polygoonz along with all of the accessory NFTs that are staked to it.
Very cool. So we're talking with Zach here from Polygoonz. Their minting is going to start on February 22nd at 4 p.m. UTC. That for everybody who doesn't know, who came in late, is UK time currently, 5 hours ahead of the East Coast. To avoid any confusion for anybody, if you guys haven't followed the Polygoonz, please follow them on here. Really cool project, one of our own. So that's something that we always stress. Follow everybody in the room and show the Polygoonz some love if you haven't yet. So is there a designated staking period that you guys have in order to earn Goonz tokens?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do there, and my dev has been in the space for a long time, actually much longer than I have. He goes back to when there were 1,000 users on Polygon, kind of thing. He remembers like Alpaca City and was big into those NFT gaming projects. And so he's been really sort of the strategic lead on anything to do with the tokens and the tokenomics and that kind of thing. And so what he decided was that we'll actually wait to open the Goonz token farm until the collection is 25% sold. So until then, we will have other stuff that is happening with the Polygoonz, which I'll definitely get into because it's probably the stuff that I'm more excited about. But of course, it's all part of the project for sure. But yeah, so at 25% sold, and then it's open for as long as there are tokens in the contract. So it's I think the rough estimate is that it's open for about 100 days, and the rate of emissions is just dependent on how many people are in the farm and what the sort of the total power is that they're bringing to the farm. So if you have one person in the farm, they're earning 100% of the emissions of the farm that day. But as soon as you have more than one person, then it comes down to how much farming power does each of them have in the farm. So if one person has a common polygon and a bunch of common traits, they might have 300 or 400 power in the farm. And then if the other person has multiple power Polygoonz or Polygoonz with some really rare traits, then they might have a couple thousand farming power. And then so the rate of distribution is just dependent on what people are bringing to the farm in terms of power.
So when somebody holds a Polygoon, what would the initial benefits that they have consist of, and eventually down the line, what would they evolve into?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, this is like one of the things that I'm most excited about is this idea of community generated like narrative. And I've been running some contests on our page, and I'll pin one here now. You'll be able to name your Polygoonz, so that'll be a piece of metadata. And the contest that I've just been running on Twitter is like a name that Polygoonz contest. So you can check out this. I've just done a bunch of random mints and layered all the items together for these images. But you can imagine that this is your Polygon after minting and after putting all the accessories on them. And then now you're able to name them. So not only name them, but also actually develop a bit of like backstory and like character to them as well. And then what we want to be encouraging in our community is like people to actually like interact with each other based on the narratives that they're coming up with. And this is just, throws me back into like the old Dungeons and Dragons days where you're just like, you spend an hour without rolling any dice just talking about like, who your character is and what kind of beer they order at the bar or whatever. Like, We just want people to get creative and just really dive into the really unique characters that the Polygoonz have. Like they have a lot of personality, I think, and so from there, that once we sort of get a bit of that rolling, we actually want to incorporate that community generated narrative into the kinds of quests and adventures and aspects of the game and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and so there's that kind of like integration, which I'm that's probably the thing that I'm most excited about, is like how are we going to figure out how to like take what people are talking about, like how people are like, you know, role playing with each other with their Polygoonz, and like bring that into the game aspect. And yeah, like just really like embrace that and encourage that. And we've got some other ideas there to really lean into that. The fact that the accessories and items and stuff are all interchangeable means that we can do like additional releases and drops, right? So yes, the Polygoonz is a finite number of NFTs, but like we can release like, you know, like a samurai set of accessories, right? Or like a you know, a themed set. And then those items and those other, you know, costumes and that kind of stuff can be available for collectors to purchase in the game using their Goonz tokens. What that also means is that we can actually like open that creativity up to the community as well. So if somebody had like a really cool idea that they were working on with their character, and they needed like, you know, magic pitchfork or something, then that might be something that we can actually allow them to create. You know, provide the templates that we've made with, you know, the graphics and the images and the dimensions and everything, and then just let people be, you know, creating their own traits and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, it's there's a lot of possibilities and different ways it can go.
Is the game, when it's rolled out, is it going to be like metaverse where I could put on a VR headset and play, or is it going to be strictly like a two-dimensional type game that I would play on my PC or Apple computer or maybe tablet? Have you figured the layout that you're going to go once that all gets launched?
Yeah, we're pretty old school. You know, my favorite video game is Legend of Zelda and like Earthbound and those types of things. So that's where I want to go with it. It's funny though, like I still want to call it a metaverse, even though it's like a, you know, we're thinking about like this top down kind of adventure game, but it will be like a pixel based metaverse. And the reason why I still want to call it a metaverse as well is because like where we see some other possibilities in terms of some cross project integration, especially with projects that we've partnered with that are pixel art projects. So like one of our partners is Pixel Dogs. It's very, very late for them right now, so they're not on here. But Pixel Dogs are great. They just released their version 2. All their Pixel Dogs from V2 are animated and they're awesome. And so if it's a project with like a full body character that's pixel based, then it's there's some work to be done, but it's possible to just isolate the character aside from the background. And then once that happens, if you know, on our end, we confirm the ownership of that NFT, and we can just allow those other pixel characters to jump right into the Polygoonz game. So yeah, there's some potential there for some really, really cool like cross project stuff happening.
Are you guys going to be doing a whitelist, or is it just going to be the mint starts on the 22nd at 4 p.m. and that's that?
Yeah, we're just going all out public mint. No, I mean, honestly, like we could do a pre-sale or something. And initially, we had a plan to do a pre-sale. I think at this point, we all understand the space well enough. Like I'm not expecting us to sell out in 24 hours. That's not really my my game plan. Where I see this project going is like really once people start having fun with it and once people start seeing the cool things that we're doing and the unique aspects of it, that's going to grow our community, right? Like we want to over deliver. Yeah, I'm talking a lot, but there's so much we want to do with it. And so it is definitely going to be a longer term project. And so with that in mind, yeah, we don't really see the need for a whitelist or pre-sale or anything like that.
I'm not really down with the whitelist thing anyway.
Well, I mean, just the name aside, right? I don't think that anybody should be calling it whitelist. That has a lot of racist connotations historically. So I'll just put that out there. If you're starting a project, just do some research about that term. Yeah, it's not a great term to be using in general. So I know a lot of people are coming around to that, and Weird Metacology has their weird list, and people have all their different names, unique names, and that's a much better way of doing it.
So are these going to be minted off your website? Are they going to be straight on secondary market? How are you guys going about the minting process when people decide to buy?
Yeah, it'll be. We have a placeholder just under the main header, so once we go live, that will open up. So it'll just be Polygoonz.finance.
You said earlier you were talking. Who was it? Pixel Dogs you were doing a collaboration with? Are there any other artists that you're going to be working with? Maybe along the way to do maybe some giveaways, some airdrops, some cross promotion. Just generally kind of jumping into each other's discords maybe and trying to, maybe share audiences that you have for the projects. Is there anybody else that you have in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so we have an initiative that we call the Pals of the Polygoonz. And we've partnered up with a bunch of projects in the space. And so I think we're at 23 partners right now, many of which are in the space with us now. So of course, Dave's CryptoGoons are pals of the Polygoonz. But yeah, there's other projects, the Comards NFTs, Congo Kings, the Squibbles, Kosher Pig, Skelly Club. I mentioned Pixel Dogs. We're working with Deadbot Nation and Cyber Warriors, Weird Metacology, Beluga Bay, Sleepy Pirates, Nifty Comedians, and then recently partnered with Polydoge and their gaming project Metapets as well. And the way that we're doing these partnerships is, we've done a bunch of Twitter giveaways and stuff, and I'm going to get some more rolling leading up to the 22nd. But the other really cool thing we're doing with the partnerships is we're creating a series of what we're calling Pals of the Polygoonz Power Boost cards. And so these are just like NFTs that we're minting and sending to our partners that they can distribute to their holders. And I'm going to pin a tweet here because I have an image of just like a bunch of them. And the idea with these cards is that if you're staking a Polygoonz, whether it's in the farm or, down the road, in the territory control game, or in the future, in whatever other iteration of the game happens, these cards are going to be able to be staked alongside the Polygoonz, and provide a boost to the power that the Polygoonz are bringing to the table. So, right off the bat, I mentioned the farm, so that's where you'll stake your Polygoonz, and as I mentioned, the total power of your Polygoonz determines the rate at which you're actually earning the Goonz token. Here's one. This is from a couple weeks ago, but it's got the MetaPets partner card there. So you'll have your Polygoonz staked with all of their power contributing to your farming speed. But these power boost cards are also carrying some significant power behind them. So we've powered the partner cards at about 400, which comes out to just around the power of a common Polygoonz. And so if you have NFTs from one of our partner projects, then you'll be able to get a Pals of the Polygoonz card through that project. And then, you only have one Polygoonz NFT, but you bring in another one of these power boost cards, then you might even be almost doubling the power that you have in the farm or in the game or whatever it is. So that's another cool thing that I don't know if anybody else is doing or not, but we thought it was a really cool way to sort of bring some really interesting utility to the partnerships.
Now this might be a kind of a wacky question that might kind of not even be anything that's ever going to be of a concern, but if something ever happens and let's say you guys are no longer happy with whatever state of affairs Polygon might have going on, is the name Polygoonz a concern if you guys decide to switch blockchains? Because then it would be difficult to roll out a series 2 of Polygoonz if you went to Solana or Avalanche, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we actually we talked about this, and there was a big discussion amongst the team about potentially rolling out, or the Polygoonz actually invading other blockchains, and that's sort of how we would think about it. Either that, or potentially there could be another collection like the Solgoonz or something, but I mean, this is so far into the I don't know. It's totally not on our roadmap to do this at all. But
I understand.
We've talked about it for sure.
Yeah, I understand. It was something that kind of popped up into my head. It's almost like have a marriage now to Polygon with this project. And
I mean, and to be honest, that's fine with me. Polygon, I think there's great stuff happening on Polygon. It's growing really, really quickly. It's really awesome to, legitimately feel like you're early in something that's growing so quickly. And we've been able to connect with a lot of other people that are big players in the Polygon space, Dave and Beluga, Polydoge. We did an AMA on Telegram with Matic News, and we're actually partnering with Matic News for some different things. We're helping them with their rebrand and website and stuff. And I'll drop some alpha here actually as well. They are planning a NFT week based entirely on Polygon NFTs. We're going to be lending a hand with some of the communications for that initiative as well.
So earlier on, you had said that you guys have been involved in some other projects, and it's not really the first rodeo for any of you guys. Is there any specific marketing techniques that you guys are using in order to get your name out that maybe you could share with somebody who is starting a new project that's been useful towards you guys as far as launching this project?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think what I often say when people are coming into Twitter Spaces and asking for advice and stuff is like, you're doing it, right? If you're in Twitter Spaces, you've got your profile, you're here, you're doing it, you're talking about your project. Like that's number one for sure, right? It's like what this space is so has so much potential because these little teams like us and like 1, 2, 3, 5-person teams can come and put together a project and have an audience of thousands of people who are just like interested in the space and interested to see what is happening. So definitely just engaging with the community, talking in Twitter Spaces is huge. For us as well, I will say, like, partnering with the other projects and doing these collabs, doing these other giveaways and that kind of thing, having them mention our Pals of the Polygoonz thing in their discords and that kind of stuff has been really cool. I will say that I don't think we've done anything, like you mentioned before we started this evening. Like, where's our Gary V space where we, instantly rack up 100,000 followers? And I don't think we're there yet. But like at the same time, I'm totally okay with that. Like, we're a small team. We're doing something really cool. But we're starting small as well. So, like I see us growing, more after launch than we have before launch. And, some people would say like, maybe that's a mistake. You need to have your following. You need to have, however many people sort of ready to buy. But, I think that there's something to be said for just proving yourselves in the space once your project gets going as well. And people can actually see what you're doing or not doing. And then basing their engagement and participation on what they're seeing actually happen with your project. We listen to all our buddies in these spaces all the time, and there's so many projects that are continuing to build. And I think that's what's really, really important as well, right? Like Dave dropping the Deads and Beluga dropping the Doodaloogas, and like this kind of thing is huge, right? It really signals that these projects are not going anywhere.
So on Mint Day on the 22nd at 4 p.m. when the Polygoonz are going to be going live, is there a total amount? Is there a cap on how many Polygoonz somebody could buy per wallet?
No, there's no cap on how many you can buy per wallet. Again, like I don't think we're in danger of being whaled out. I don't know if that's what you would call it or not, but yeah, we're not limiting how many any one person can buy. We are putting because it's Matic and the people can conduct transfers pretty quickly. We are putting a limit on 10 per transfer. So if there happens to be a huge rush, then that will at least pace everybody a little bit.
On your website, it was talking about some charitable donations that you guys are going to be doing down the line, where you're going to be donating 10% of your initial sales to support food security in India.
Yeah.
What made you guys decide India?
Yeah. So this was an idea that we had a while back, and we've just it's sort of just kept with us. The idea there is, and just sort of how it came about through the team conversation, was that like the Polygoonz are farmers, right? They care about farming, they care about food, and they care about taking care of each other. there's Polygoonz traits where there's things growing, there's traits with food. They're very like, they're almost hobbits like that, right? Like that's their passion. And so we wanted to make a connection there. And we wanted to just, make a connection to Polygon, actually. So, Polygon being based in India is a part of that decision as well. But also just, India being so hard hit with the pandemic and with COVID, and it's one of very many places that is having a hard time. But we have members of our team live there. I've been there to live for a little while. So it's just that's not much more than that. We just obviously wanted to do something, to give something back through the potential success of the project.
Is there a specific charity that you have in mind, or is it something that you're going to have the holders maybe vote on? How do you go about that?
We will probably put together a list and then have a bit of a community discussion about it. A while back, we were in discussion with the Polygon team about it, thinking that they might actually have a suggestion, but that hasn't happened. So we don't actually have a specific charity decided yet.
Yeah, the actual Polygon team is actually very approachable, and like they will answer you if you message them here on Twitter. So,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, we've been in touch with them about a lot of stuff. That was just a part of the conversation that sort of dropped off the radar. But we'll definitely pick it back up.
Yeah, they're very accessible. I mean, I've spoken to them numerous times. Cause we're launching a marketplace on Polygon as well. So, as long as you tell them that you have something related to what they believe in, or something that's going to benefit the entire chain as a whole, those guys are very open-minded as far as like talking to you and trying to help you. And they even set up like AMAs with smaller artists and stuff. Like they're really good people, Polygon. I dig them a lot. I'm glad that we're going to be a part of them as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in the process now of setting up an AMA with them as well, actually.
So have you guys decided on the tokenomics that you're going to have when the Goonz token launches?
So I was hoping that my dev would join at some point here, because like I said, he's really like the tokenomics guy. But the sort of the core concept is that there is going to be just an initial supply. So there's an initial supply of 1,200,000 Goonz tokens, and 100,000 is going to be sent to the Goonz token farm, and then another 100,000 is dedicated to just giveaways. And I've already given away over 10,000 just through our Discord and Twitter and Telegram and that kind of stuff. And then the remaining 1 million tokens are actually just going to be available for purchase at a fixed price. So in the game, if you needed Goonz tokens, you would be able to just like stock up on them. But they will circulate through the game as well. So obviously, like there's the farm, which is sort of the initial wave of tokens into the community. But beyond that, the way that we're thinking about how the game mechanics works and everything, like the tokens will continue to flow back through the game through rewards and that kind of thing as well.
So what's been the most difficult thing for you guys along the way here? Is it just trying to have so much that you're doing in this ecosystem that you have? Is it trying to get the word out?
I would say there's been a lot of challenges, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to to a number of these. But like, for myself, I'm just even the fact that I work full time, right? And this is a passion project. Like a lot of us, we hope that someday it can be successful enough to carry us and allow us to. To really dedicate, our bit. Oh, I think I'm getting rugged. Can you still hear me?
You were breaking up a little bit. I thought it was my side, but I could hear you. Are you there, Zach? Man, we need Jack Dorsey back up in here, man. I'm telling you. So, Greg, Dave, are you guys there? Maybe I'm the one that's rugged.
I'm here. I'm just I've been sending Beluga a massive tweet of achievements that this community's
Well,
yeah, no, Dave, I was here. I just I couldn't click on my phone as quick. Sorry about that.
no, I just didn't know if I got rugged or if the Polygoonz got rugged, and it looks like the Polygoonz got rugged.
Yeah, it sounded like they did. Apologies about that. Yeah, sound like Polygoonz got rugged.
Yeah, so we'll wait for him to come back. I might have to drop him down and then bring him back up. Sometimes that works. Let's see if that works.
Yeah.
When like people are doing different things when you ask if it's you rugged or not, and no one's available to answer your question because they're just happy listening to the amazing show you put on.
Oh my God! Ready for retirement, sir.
It can get draining, man. It can get draining.
Well, I'm just talking about retirement in general.
Won't be long. Once your platform goes live.
Oh, man.
So now you want Jack back. 2 months ago, you were complaining about him, Dave.
Jack Dorsey, he wasn't doing too good at first, and then things started getting corrected, and then they took away Jack, and now it's like it's back to the same old shit.
As soon as he left, you really stopped getting kicked from spaces so much. And then now it's coming for full circle, it seems.
Yeah, they must have hired him back as like a consultant or something like that. So, I don't know. Hopefully Polygoonz comes back. I had a few more questions for him. Is Sleepy Pirate here? We need somebody to play some guitar for us. When all else fails, have Sleepy Pirate play guitar for you.
I know he was here earlier.
Yeah, I don't know where he's gone. Like I forgot to. I might have upset him because I forgot to ask him to play guitar on our spaces earlier on.
Yeah, he's very he gets a little upset about stuff like that. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll wait like a few more minutes to see.
Zach Kenny. Is that Zach Kenny? That's the profile for Polygoonz. I don't know if you can pull him up. If he's the personal person behind the Polygoonz profile.
Yeah, I invited them. So in the meantime, oh, here he is. He's back. All right, good. All right, we invited the Polygoonz back up.
Maybe they're here. Maybe somebody's phone dies. Sometimes it takes a while to reconnect after that happens.
Well, in the meantime, I'll tell you guys about the project. The Polygoonz, they're going to be minting on the 22nd of February at 4 p.m. UTC, which is 5 hours ahead of Eastern time, for those of you that don't really know how that stuff works with the time zones, because it confuses me. Going to be a really badass project. Very experienced team. They're working on some really cool stuff. There's going to be a game involved. There's going to be a token involved. your NFT, you're going to be able to change its costume and its attributes that it has. They're going to have staking available. You guys are really covering a lot of stuff. So really excited to talk to them. Hopefully we could get Polygoonz back up here. Oh, here you are. You're back.
Made it. Yeah, so sorry about that.
It's okay. I was giving you a little 2-minute promo there of my own.
Oh, perfect. I wish I could have heard it.
Oh, we're recording. Don't worry about it.
Oh, great.
So let's jump back into a few things before we do wrap up with our AMA here. Now, at the 75% point on your roadmap, it's saying that you're going to open up to community input. Now, is this the point where the community is going to be able to make decisions on, the future of whatever the storyline might be, what type of airdrops you guys are doing, the direction of the Goonz token itself? Is that the point when this is all going to happen?
Yeah, I think at that point we really want to allow the community to have some more serious input as to like where it's going. But like, I think that what we've developed and what we've sort of laid out in terms of a roadmap, I think is pretty solid as well. So, a lot of projects, will have like, we're opening a DAO or whatever, and that, sort of takes care of that. I think what we're looking more towards is really providing like some solid, some solid plans and solid ideas, but really just being open to other ideas that people have. So like, even in sort of project development, we've reached out to a lot of different people in the space to sort of get some ideas for where to go and what we think people will be most interested in. So, I mean, I mentioned the sort of the community creation aspect, like the sort of content creation. So in terms of the narrative and potentially in terms of even like items and that kind of stuff as well. But I mean, essentially, we just want to keep it open and allow people to, come in and have a say and basically help us out if they want. And if they don't, we've got plans. Like there's we're not waiting, or we're going to be waiting around for, we're not lacking any direction there for sure. But yeah, just allowing people to help us out if they want to.
All right, I got a few more before we wrap up. As far as how that goes with community decision making, is it going to be weighted on just the total amount of NFTs each person owns, as far as like maybe voting capabilities go? Is it going to be based on how many you have staked, or is it going to be based on the rarity of your particular goons that you hold? Have you guys decided how the hierarchy is going to work as far as
we haven't really decided how any kind of voting system would go. I think, like I said, it's going to be fairly like casual in terms of like what kind of feedback and what kind of ideas we're being receptive to. So, but I mean, essentially, like, we also we do have a vision for the project, and we do have like a certain like a certain flavor that goes along with it. So if we had a really big collector that really wanted to do something totally wacky, then we just felt like wasn't really in line with how the rest of the project is going, then that's we wouldn't necessarily just cave to that, to that opinion, but more just open it up to the community. So, I mean, I guess if anything, it's sort of just a one person, one vote, but nothing official.
So there was a lot to cover here. You guys really do have a lot planned out. It's super exciting that you're kind of covering all bases, and you have the token aspect along with the staking, along with the art. I really like the fact that you could kind of customize your NFT. I don't see that too much where you could kind of flip accessories and have different types of attributes. So that's something I was talking about a while back, and I really like that idea. I like how you guys are going with that. Is there anything that I had missed asking you that you want to let the community know about?
Oh, geez. I don't think so. I think you've been quite thorough, actually.
All right. So where do you see your project a year from now? That's the question I ask everybody.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I see, we want to have, all of our ultra goons adopted and landed into the space. Probably at that point, we will have discovered who the remaining final 3 Polygoonz are, and that incorporated into the narrative as well. I think like the plan is just going forward that that the whole project can be really built on, right? And so, doing kind of like expansion sets of NFTs is definitely one thing that we want to do. Doing like trait specific airdrops and events. Like I have traits in the project that are like annual traits. So like I think the one that I posted up earlier has a present. And there maybe I'll figure out another holiday other than like the winter holidays to activate that. But the way that I was thinking about it is like, okay, every Christmas or whatever, that Polygoonz who are holding that trait get airdrop these very, very special items. And yeah, and just sort of the way that we're planning and strategizing around the items and community, I think is a fairly special thing that I don't often get a chance to talk about, which is, yeah, you can get airdrop something. Yes, you can sell it. Yes, you can use it. But what we really want to encourage is for people to sort of build like alliances and teams with each other. And so if I get, if I have a pet chicken that I have with my Polygoonz, maybe every week or whatever I get an egg. And maybe I don't need all those eggs, so I can, share them around with sort of my team. But we're also doing some airdrops and items where there's some different built-in mechanics as well, where it's like, yes, you can send it, yes, you can like sell it if you just wanted to, sell it for Goonz tokens or whatever. I can sell my egg for like 5 Goonz tokens maybe. But other things where it would really encourage the sharing and the trading back and forth. And so it's trying to bring it back to the idea that the Polygoonz are like at heart, they want to help each other. They want to, just share amongst each other and help each other be successful. So there's more to that for sure. But down the road, like, we see the project really just expanding and growing more and more. I was talking with people at Polydoge, and they were suggesting that at some point, gaming NFTs will actually need a free to play option, right? So, if your collection is 10,000, what do you do once you sell those 10,000? Like, are those the only people? Do you only have 5,000 people who can play your game? How do you grow from there? So, looking at potential free to play options and ways for people to come into the community and engage with the project that doesn't disturb the scarcity of the initial mint, but allows for a continuing expansion of the community.
It's really awesome. I'm really looking forward to checking out your project when it drops. I want to thank you for coming out here, Zach, and talking with the community and sharing an hour of your time with us. We get the Polygoonz. They're going to be dropping on the 22nd of February at 4 p.m. UTC. That's UK time for people that don't know what UTC is, like myself. It's going to be a pretty large scale project. Going to have a lot of really nice goodies kind of tied in with it. A game. They're going to have staking. They're going to have a whole bunch of fantastic stuff. Their own native token. You could swap your characters, accessories, and that's what I like the best about the whole thing. So yeah, thanks for coming out, talking with the people here. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day. When you do your release, please make sure to tweet to me so I could retweet it for you, and we could kind of get this up and running. All right, man?
Absolutely. Thanks very much. And I did just want to do a giveaway here as well for the space. Can I get a number of people in the space?
Sure. Hold on.
Don't go.
45.
45. Okay. Random number. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Daniel Grozdanov at Daniel Dangers. I just followed you. You've won a Polygoonz free mint. And for everybody else, please just keep on watching what we're doing. We are going to be releasing a whole bunch of free mints in the next week leading up to launch on the 22nd. And we're continuously dropping the Goonz tokens as well. So in the second to latest pinned tweet, there's the name your Polygoonz. If you comment a name for the Polygoonz with your address, you get dropped. I think it's 5 or 10 Goonz tokens. And then, if I pick the name that you came up with, then it's 50 Goonz tokens. But yeah, I'm doing those every day. There's Goonz tokens giveaway is in the Discord every day as well. So just pop in there and start scooping up some Goonz.
That's awesome. I just messaged Daniel to let him know to hit you with a DM so we could get the free mint set up.
Great.
Once again, Zach, thank you so much. Whenever you want to stop by, feel free to stop by. Let me know when you want me to tweet out for you, and I'll make sure that I quote tweet and I'll pin it up on my profile for the 22nd when you guys release.
Thank you so much.
February 22nd, 4 p.m. Polygoonz. Get some.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and listening. I really, really appreciate it. See you in the Gooniverse.
So tomorrow we have a very fun guest coming on with us. We're going to have the Mulletverse with us. My first time talking with the Mulletverse. Looking forward to it. Everybody loves mullets, except for maybe our wives. They probably wouldn't like the mullets too much because they're ugly looking. But anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you again, Zach. Polygoonz, February 22nd, 4 p.m. UTC. Have a good night, everybody. Love you.
Thanks, Elon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.